High intensity exercise, not just walking, not just stretching, but real heart pounding effort, has been shown in clinical trials to actually slow Parkinson's progression. Now let that sink in. So, why is most of the advice people with Parkinson's are getting still just take a walk? Because I've been told that, and I've actually said that. And for a long time, I thought that was enough. But here's the truth, it is enough for a certain stage. But if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm doing the walking, I'm trying, so why does it still feel like I'm falling behind? Well, this is where things change. Because today I'm going to break down what actually works, what research says, and how it plays out in real life. And stick with me till the very end, because I'm saving one shift, the one mindset that changed how I approach movement completely.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it now for over 15 years. And this channel, it's real life with Parkinson's, not the polished version, not the everything is fine version, but the real version. So if that's what you're looking for, hit subscribe, follow along, and let's get right into today's episode. Now, I want to start with something real. There was a stretch where I was doing what I thought was everything right. I was moving more. I was going for walks. I was trying to stay active. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm doing this. So why does it still feel like I'm not getting ahead? Not worse, but not better either. Just kind of stuck. And that's a frustrating place to be, because with Parkinson's, effort matters. So when you're putting in the effort and you're not seeing the return, that messes with your head a little bit. And what I started realizing through research and through conversations and through trial and error was this. There's a difference between movement to maintain and movement that actually pushes back. And to be honest, they both matter. So I want to be really clear about something here right from the start, because I don't want this to come across the wrong way. If you're in a place right now where getting off the couch feels hard, where motivation is low, where energy is low, this is not about high intensity anything. It's about movement, walking to the mailbox or standing up more often, doing what you can. And I've had those days where the biggest win is just getting up and moving a little. And that counts, and that matters, and that is where to start. But if you got some consistency, if movement is already part of your routine, and you're thinking, okay, now what? That's where this comes in. Because your brain is still capable of change. It really is. Neuroplasticity, it can adapt, it can build new pathways, it can respond, but it responds best to challenge. And stay with me here, because the next part is where things really start to click. And a quick pause for a second. If this is the kind of breakdown, if these kind of breakdowns, that take science and turn it into real life stuff that you can actually use, then make sure you're subscribed, because that is what we do here. And if you enjoy that, give me a thumbs up, like the video, so that it will go out to more people that need this type of information. So let's talk about the next level. Okay, number one, high intensity intervals. It's called HIIT. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, yeah, that's not happening. Like, you want me doing what exactly here? But here's what it actually means. Short bursts of effort, where your heart rate goes up, where you're working hard enough that talking gets a little tough, not impossible, just uncomfortable. The SPARX Trial, and that's a real clinical study, okay? Excuse me. It showed that high intensity exercise actually slowed motor decline in people with Parkinson's. Not maintained it, slowed it. Just sit with that for a second. Because most of what we hear about Parkinson's is about managing symptoms, trying to keep things from getting worse too quickly. But this suggests that we can actually influence the trajectory. Now, what is that? It doesn't mean that we can stop Parkinson's. No, it doesn't. But it does mean we might be able to push back, even a little. Yeah. And with Parkinson's, a little matters. And that's not hype, that's real research. Now, real life, that doesn't mean that you're suddenly going to become a gym rat. For me, it might even mean pushing a little harder on a bike or walking a little bit faster than I feel like. That moment where your brain says, okay, we can stop now. And you go, yeah, we're not stopping yet. That's where the magic is. Okay. And if you're thinking, I still don't see myself doing that, well, the next one might be the one that actually sticks for you. Number 2, boxing. Now, I've heard this so many times from people in our community. The walk, they walk in unsure, they walk in hesitant, and then something shifts because you're not just moving, you're reacting, you're thinking, you're coordinating. And there's something about hitting a bag or punching in the air, even if it's whatever, shadow boxing, that just feels good. Let's be honest, Parkinson's takes a lot from you. Boxing sometimes feels like you get to take a little bit back, like you get to give Parkinson's that punch. And that might make it fun. That might make it motivating. And that actually might keep you doing it when you don't want to do it anymore. All right, number 3, excuse me, dancing. And yeah, I know. Some of you are already thinking, Bryce, we're not going to do the tango. And that's fair. But hear me out. It's rhythm, it's balance, it's timing. And it challenges your brain in a completely different way. Plus, you're doing it with people. And that matters more than you think. Okay, number 4, strength training. Parkinson's brings stiffness, that feeling like your body just doesn't want to cooperate. Well, strength training helps push back against that. And this doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a fancy gym or a big plan, just consistent effort. Because a stronger body gives you more to work with on the hard days. Now, before we get into Carmen's Care Partner Corner, I want you to stick with me for one more minute right after, because right after Carmen's segment, I'm going to share the one mindset shift that changed how I look at exercise completely. And honestly, it's really simple, but it took me way too long to figure it out. And now it is time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. This is where I share something my wife Carmen wrote for me to read to you. Because you know what? She's living with this from a completely different side than I am. And here's what she asked me to share with you today. Hey, everyone. If you're a care partner, I want to talk to you for a second, because exercise isn't just their challenge. It becomes yours too. You're often the one helping get things started, encouraging, organizing, sometimes even pushing a little when they don't feel like it. And I've learned something over time. Trying to force motivation doesn't work. What does work is removing friction. Have things ready ahead of time. Shoes by the door, water bottle filled, and a simple plan in place. Because the fewer decisions there are in the moment, the easier it is to get started. And the less likely it's not going to happen. And here's one small tip that made a big difference for us. On the hard days, don't focus on the workout. Just focus on the first step. Let's just get outside. Let's just walk to the end of the driveway. Because once that first step happens, the rest often follows. And even when it doesn't, as Bryce always says, the first step still counts. All right, awesome. Thank you, Carmen. And if that resonated with you and you're a care partner out there, give Carmen a heart in the comments. Let us know. Okay, let's go back to the mindset shift that I mentioned earlier. And this one took me a while because for a long time I kept asking myself, am I doing enough? Am I walking enough? Exercising enough? Keeping up enough? And that question, it really never gets a good answer, does it? Because with Parkinson's, it always feels like you could do more. But here's what changed for me. I stopped asking, am I doing enough? And I started asking, did I challenge myself just a little more than I did yesterday? And that's it. Not perfect, not extreme, not all or nothing. Just a little more. Because some days that more is tiny. Some days it's pushing harder. But that shift, that's what moved me forward. All right, here is your Bryce-ism for today's episode, and I hope you like it. With Parkinson's, movement is how we start, but challenge is how we fight back. Now, if this hits you, I'd love to hear where you're at. And, are you in the movement stage right now, or are you ready to push into that next level? Drop it in the comments, because I read every single one, and it starts a conversation. And, if you know someone who needs this, please send this to them. Please forward this video to them, because this stuff matters. It really, really does. And at the end of the day, whether you're in the I can barely get off the couch movement stage, or I am ready to take the next level stage, know that you are doing enough for you right now. Okay? Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And whatever you do, don't compare yourself to where somebody else is at. This is your journey. This isn't our journey. We're journeying together, but it's your journey. And you have to be where you are right now. But I hope you'll get the motivation to either get off the couch and take that walk, or to take that walk and move it into something a little bit more heart-pounding. Well, until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. I love you so very much. You're not alone. Never were, and you'll never be again. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.